Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new to me, my name is Bailey Yanker and I am a stay-at-home mama of two. My little girlie is 3.5 now. My little man is a year and a half. And I am just super passionate, inspired by, love to talk about really anything mindset, spirituality. And then after going through my own transformation healing journey, how that then translates to how I get to parent, how my household runs, right? How my relationship is with myself and my husband and my kids. And so this space is for you if you're on that same journey, right? You're starting to learn, why do I do the things I do? Where are my beliefs coming from? How is this impacting my happiness and those around me? Okay, because I found that my journey was very personal, right? It's very in-depth. You're kind of broken apart and healing and going through all that messiness, and it's all within you. And then you start to try and step into life, right? How do I step into life now as this healed person? And does this parenting technique align with me? And what all these types, it's like more questions, right? The more you get secure in yourself, the more questions there are about how then to translate that into real world. Because I, again, found with myself that there are a lot of wounds and behaviors and habits that I was holding that I could trace back to specific things, right? So it's my intention, my vision, to create a space that minimizes the opportunity for those wounds, right? And then raising my kids in a way that really empowers them so they feel secure in, I am lovable, I am worthy, right? Coming back to self, leading from the intuition space so that when they get to be 30 years old, hopefully they have less of that healing journey to do, right? They've been trained and they've been taught and they've been working through handling big emotions and processing with other people and being in that intimate space that's required as you heal, as you dive into those wounds. So if that is you, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that I found you. I'm going to love to get to support and be here and create a space and community where we all are doing that together, because it takes a whole lot more than just me, right? So today I want to go into one of the biggest shifts that has supported me in my mental health, happiness, relationships in my household. Okay, so one of the major shifts that I have gone through, veering towards, right, is from parents being controllers, right, as myself being controller of the home. Old programming is very much, because I said so, I am the parent, I am here, child there, that type of imbalance of power, right? So as I view my family, as I walk into my household, what I really am shifting into is role of observer, okay, and understanding and creating a space where we're all more so equals, okay, mom, dad, daughter, son, brother, sister, we're all here, okay, so there's none of this minimizing the happenings of power imbalances where my kids feel powerless, right? Because what I found when I was holding on to control and I wanted to be in control and they need to listen to me, and this old story belief that kids have to obey, right? Because that's when it kind of tipped me off. I realized they don't have to listen to anything I say. They literally could just refuse and not listen to me at all. They could, right? I could do that to everybody else. We have the choice to either listen, go along, follow direction, or we don't, right? And so what is the mechanism? What is the route of getting them on board without it being a power struggle, without it being this fight, right? If I'm coming in fighting as they get older, she's coming back at me, right? Just like, I don't want to do that. I said, So when you shift out of I am the controller, right, into I am the observer, that leaves a lot more space. A lot more space for them to show up, a lot more space for you to go into possibility. Because again, when I found myself in controller, it was easy to then pinpoint all the things I was doing wrong, right? It was like, I knew this, but I didn't clean up that, and this day is going bad, and we didn't go to the gym, and I wanted to do that, and dinner is burnt, and just like when you're controlling any segment, any piece externally that kind of goes haywire, it's easy to then derail myself, right? Because I'm dependent on things looking a certain order, on them speaking a certain way. Even with my husband, that was a big one. If I'm controlling myself, I'm probably going to try to control him. He's a grown man. That's not really going to work, right? And so shift into, we are all a team. We are all unified. We are all together, okay? How do I value my power? How do I then support my kids and my husband in feeling and standing in their power? Okay, and so it's kind of a little shaky to the ego, right? It's like, but I want to be in control and I want things my way. And if I'm not in control, I'm not safe. That's how, that's where that control comes from, that safety feature. Okay, so once you can begin to practice, I want to observe, right? These are components in my life who are reflecting back to me at all times things that are going on in myself, right? How can I observe that? An example of this could be, my daughter, I was like, just one morning, she was not hearing me at all, just like consistently, like, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And I kept feeling just so unheard, right? It really isn't them not doing what we want. For myself, it was this feeling and belief that my voice doesn't matter. I'm unheard. See, I'm just proving to myself, right? So moving into first, how can I acknowledge my feelings, right? I'm so before this process, I was like, I'm so tough. I, don't need the feelings, right? I'm just super guarded. And the more you get into this, it's like, oh God, I got to acknowledge those feelings and be in them. But then they're there to teach us something, right? Instead of repressing them, ignoring them, we invite them in. We kind of go into them without the judgment. And what is this showing me? Where do I get to go in myself? How can I detach from her behavior proving something to me about myself? That's a key thing in observer, right? Controller, when things aren't going right, it's easy to then blame yourself. I did it wrong again. I didn't do this. I keep messing up. I'm still not healed, right? But if I'm observing, that's interesting. That's interesting to me. What is that showing me about myself? How can I go in myself and stand? Okay? Because if I'm not controller, if I'm not working from old programming, my instinct isn't to correct them. Okay? Very powerful right there. Okay? Old programming, if I view myself as kids listen, I'm the adult, I'm in charge, they better do what I want, then when it's not, it's easier to then just go into them. Right? Another key thing that really supports me is understanding and believing that my kids, I believe my soul is God consciousness. I believe I'm connected to it. It is what empowers me. It is the truth of who I am. That is in them. They have their soul. They are connected to God consciousness. They follow through intuition, right? They're kids. It's developing. They may obviously not really process all that, but I get to view them in that way. If we're equals, I have God, you are God. What are you showing me? How can I follow you? How can I go on your process and support you on your path that you're being called into right now, without it being against me, without me having to control it the way I see, right? I'm just working from the mind at that point, which is working off past experiences, which you're learning as you've gone on your own healing transformation journey. Okay, so major shift right there. When you're getting overwhelmed, getting in that anger, getting in the power struggles, take a step back and think, how can I be observer now? What am I trying to control? What am I telling myself their behavior says about me in a negative context, right? Not as an informative awareness, but how am I using their behavior to then knock myself? Okay, so I'm going to be coming in. I'm also on Instagram. I'll leave my little username, I guess, listed there as well, sharing tips on how to practice this, right? Because again, you've gone through the healing journey. You've recognized how wounds begin, right? You recognize the habits and the mindset and the happenings and workings of yourself. So now it's, okay, how do I then translate this into parenting, right? How do I translate this into relationship with my husband, within myself, right? So that my intention is to minimize those wounds for them, that old conditioning, old programming, inserting in them, right? We're human. We're not perfect. We get to also go into how to support them in healing from that, right? That process. But when you're conscious, you know better, you do better, right? So we get to practice and integrate the things we're learning, that spiritual aspect, into, okay, how does this look like as new code parenting, right? How does this new parenting get to look like? Because I'm so aware and I'm so committed to my journey. How does that look like for them? Okay, so I cannot wait to see you here. I don't really have a set schedule yet. I'll just keep y'all notified. Come in, check it out. I look forward to this journey. Talk to you later, guys.